If we've ever had the right mindset going this tour, you know, it's because of what we went through in the time off. Had like 8 people pass away in December and January. A friend of mine lost her twins 5 months into her pregnancy and had to deliver them, have a funeral. And then like Jim's father passed away and all these things happened. You know, it seemed like every other day someone was dying. And
we were off at the time, and a few weeks before Christmas, that was a hard thing. Kind of like when my mom passed away too, the biggest support was just the guys being there. And I think they understand and show support in more ways than they realize.
Before this ever started, I remember sitting in my house and praying, God, just take me out of this season. Like imagine, you know, we're kind of the funeral band right now. Every night we get a ton of stories of every person saying, I've lost my son tragically, or my husband, or my wife. And every story is as intense as the next. In God's sovereignty, to go ahead and do the Imagine tour and all this kind of stuff where people come in with this mindset of this tour revolves around I Can Only Imagine, just seems so fitting now with everything we went through.
I think it's made the tour a little stronger. It's just given more of a platform for Bart to share his heart. You know, because people look at us on the stage, they don't realize that we're just normal people going through what normal people go through. You lose somebody that close in your family and go on 2 or 3 weeks later. That doesn't happen unless Christ is the center of what's taking place in your life.
We're making the biggest effort we can to make Christ the center of attention. And even if somebody gets just a taste of that, then they're going to want to come back.
Crowd responds differently every night in worship, and I think that's probably the most exciting part about what we do, is seeing how people respond in the presence of God.
We're having a lot of people that don't know of us other than the song I Can Only Imagine. They've heard it on the radio. They didn't go out and buy an album or anything, so they don't really know what we're about. So you get the people that have been in church, and then you get the people that have never been to church, and they're kind of, you know, looking around the room kind of going, what's going on? But it's cool to see that they're, you know, that they're even willing to come in the first place, you know, and hopefully along the way that God ministers to them.
People are coming, they're like, I know what I Can Only Imagine's about, but it's like, you know, what am I getting into? Am I have something shoved down my throat? And I don't know how many times we've heard people that come and go, man, I didn't know what to expect, but when you did that song, I let everything, all my guard down, and you could have taken me anywhere. And I'm like, oh, that's what it's all about. If they can't see our passion, then we might as well hang it up.
After the show, talking with people that come through the meet and greet, just on how the ministry side of the show blessed them a lot, how the new songs have blessed them. And it's just good for us to know that we're still on the right track.
Obviously, we can't meet with 4,000 or 5,000 people after a show, but there's a large handful of people that we do get to meet. We get to hear great stories of how the music and just the ministry of mercyme has touched their lives.
We try to make Christ the center of attention. You know, we probably don't succeed every time, but that is always our intention.
Sometimes you get stuff like this, you get too much production and it takes away from what the calling is that the band has or what our mission is as a band. And I think that we've done a good job of not letting that overshadow the focus of what this tour is about.